vocally. Anything to say?
I guess one more. What do you think? You have to show to coaches just to have that belief in you that you can be ready.
What do you say?
Our girl, Mina Kimes, joining us now here on First Take. Mina, what was your reaction to Shedeur Sanders pantomiming the answers to the questions he was asked yesterday?
Well, initially, I was befuddled, I think like a lot of people, and then I heard the context that this was his way of responding to our colleague, Rex Ryan. I'm not tapped into that back and forth, so again, I had no idea. And I think with that information, my feeling about this is something that I think kind of applies to a lot with Sanders, which is he obviously receives a perhaps disproportionate and unfair amount of attention. I also think he is well within his rights to defend himself when he's criticized, if he feels that that's unfair or it gets personal. But I also think he should just be clear in doing so, because the way he went about here kind of leaves it open to interpretation. And so I think the intention is fine, and I don't begrudge him that. But there's a lot of value when you're trying to make a point in clarity. And I don't know if that's him getting bad advice or if this is just how he feels he should go about it. But I know that's maybe not the most fiery take on all of this, but I just think he should be clear. And it's not the end of the world. It's a weird moment, and everybody can just move on now.
Okay, so we know how you guys all feel about this. I want to focus on the game itself here, because let's set the table here. They make this quarterback change midweek. They go to London. He faces Brian Flores. We know what happens when he sends a blitz after a rookie quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, that is. How long should this leash be, given those circumstances, Dan, for Dillon Gabriel to remain the starter?
The only thing that matters the rest of this season for the Browns is, did they find a Derek Carr, a Dak Prescott, an Andy Dalton? Did they find a starting caliber quarterback in that obviously second, third, fourth plus round? And because of those 2 first-round picks, yes, they got to win games, all that, yes. But that's the only thing that matters. So, how long should this leash be? It should be pretty significant. That being said, one, this is a offense that averages 84 yards rushing a game. I think it's the worst in the NFL, or bottom 2 or 3. So it's not like he's working with a lot in that regard. Number 2, they really only have a starting number 2 receiver, and then probably receivers that would be a little bit better in that number 4 role. So this is a team that talent-wise is decimated on the perimeter. Tillman getting hurt for a decent amount of time has hurt this. So it's not like Dillon Gabriel's walking into a situation that a Russell did or that a Dak Prescott did, where he had some people to go to. So I do believe that everyone needs to temper the expectations of, Dillon Gabriel's the starting quarterback now, and all of a sudden the Browns are going to be good on offense. No. So I think you're looking for him to be really good with the efficiency, ball placement elite, operate the play action game, overperform. But this is not going to be something where hey, if they fall to 0-5 in their next 5 games, this young man stinks. This is a team that's still very talent deprived.
And the schedule here, so it's Minnesota, Stephen A's Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami, New England, New York, Baltimore. There are some winnable games in there, Stephen A. But how do you look at how long of the leash, how long it should be for Dillon Gabriel?
It's not a matter of should. That'll be contingent on his performance. I understand that. If he performs lights out and Cleveland is in a position to compete for a playoff spot, which we all doubt, then obviously you have to leave him in because you're trying to win football games. But if the season is a wash and it's clear, let's say by week 12, week 13, that you are not going to be in a position to compete for a playoff spot, then you're going to have an audience out there clamoring to see Shedeur Sanders. You're going to have an audience out there. Now, why does that matter? We say it's about winning football games, and it's absolutely true. That's first, that's paramount. After that, let's not ignore the significance of PR. Let's not ignore the significance of business. He might be a QB3. He's the most popular QB3 in the National Football League. Okay, he's more popular than Dillon Gabriel or Joe Flacco when it comes to jersey sales and things of that nature. You have an audience in Cleveland who is clamoring to see him now. What are they going to be thinking about when week 12, week 13 arrives and it's clear that Cleveland ain't in the playoff picture? they're going to say, show us what that man has. Give him an opportunity to shine. Because your game is paramount, but also the personality that comes with it matters, particularly for an NFL franchise that has made some highly questionable decisions along the way and hasn't given their fan base much to cheer about in recent memory. You paid Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed. This was before Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and others got their deals. You made that commitment and there was expectations, and immediately they plummeted. You had a guy in Myles Garrett that is an all-world, the best defensive player on the planet. This brother's a monster. He asked to be traded before you turned around and gave him about $40 million a year. So he was talking about, what did he say at the time? I just want to compete for a championship. I want to be in a position where we're relevant, that we got a chance, okay? And we saw during the preseason, who was he standing next to on the sidelines? Who was he joking with? It was Shedeur Sanders. You understand what I'm saying? And who was he encouraging along the way? Especially when he had that bad outing. It was Myles Garrett encouraging Shedeur Sanders because he's paying attention, because he's like, this brother has potential. People see stuff like that and say, okay, show us. And Shedeur certainly has made it clear he's ready to show you. So it's a matter of what the organization is going to do. You can't ignore that.
And you brought up something like at some point, no matter if the record's if it's a lost season, which we already think it's on the track to being, people are going to want to see what Shedeur Sanders is. For a coaching staff, for a front office that very much feels like they're on the hot seat right now.
Not the front office. I mean, I'm saying not the coach staff. I mean,
you don't think
Kevin Stefanski's a two-time coach, coach of the year. I mean, anybody questioning him, we know he knows what he's doing. It's a matter of the personnel that he has to work with. They got him on the defensive side of the ball. What do they have on offense? What do they have at that quarterback spot? That's been their Achilles heel.
Do you think that would affect their mindset for RC, for how they would approach it?
It can't affect their mindset. Dan mentioned the run game. I think Quinshon Judkins is showing that he can be a bell cow of a back. And when Kevin Stefanski is at his best, it's when he has the run game and you can get into the play action. They haven't had that early on this season. And as far as how long Dillon Gabriel should have, I think as soon as you know he's not the franchise guy, you should move on to Shedeur, because this isn't about, in my estimation, winning games. It's about saying, I know Mason Graham can play. I believe Isaiah Bond can be a 2 or a 3. Harold Fannin Jr. has kind of been a revelation at the position. And so you have some of these young pieces. You have to figure out if your 3rd round pick or your 5th round pick can be your franchise quarterback as you move into the next draft with 2 first round picks.
So, yeah, Mina, it's about next year, it sounds like. How do you approach that if you're the Browns?
Yeah, more likely than not, the Browns' 2026 quarterback is not on this roster. They have those picks, and we can agree upon that. I'm very apprehensive of moving on from Gabriel too quickly for Sanders for a couple of reasons. Mainly, first of all, what we saw in the preseason. Gabriel pretty dramatically outplayed him, and the way he outplayed him, too, is a big part of why they're making this move to Gabriel early, which is he has a quick release. He can play point guard. That's what they want for this offense, right? This is a defensive-led team. There's no doubt about that. They just want a point guard quarterback who gets the ball out quick, doesn't take many sacks, doesn't have negative plays, and can be, complemented the play-action passing attack with the run game that Ryan talked about. I would be nervous, honestly, about whether or not Sanders can actually do that. The schedule is very winnable after this week. I think we can all agree. You got to kind of write off this Brian Flores defense and not put too much stock into how he performs. If he looks awful, unprepared, I understand then, yes, you have to consider things, but I really think he should be given a pretty long leash, because to me, he is the best chance they have on the roster right now of winning football games.
First of all, I wasn't aware